This is an interview of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute's Oral History Project. I'm interviewing Mrs. Henrietta Tripp. My name is Dr. Horace Huntley. Today is April 9th, 1998. Mr. Tripp, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. And I know you're busy to come and sit and talk with me today.
Well, I appreciate you asking.
Yes, ma'am. Where are you from originally?
I was originally born in Marion Junction, Alabama.
Were your parents from Marion Junction?
My parents were from close
In that general area?
Yeah, in the general area. My father's father, my grandfather, was from North Carolina. And he was born there, but he was raised up in Massillon, just close to Marion Junction.
Well, why did he move from North Carolina to Alabama?
Well, during that time, my grandfather's father was a slave. And during that time, he was traded off and he moved to Mississippi from North Carolina.
So he was actually traded from an owner in North Carolina
Right,
to someone in Mississippi.
right.
Okay.
And then they moved from Mississippi to Alabama.
And that story remains in your family
Yes.
about movement from North Carolina. Do you know where in North Carolina he was from?
No, that's what we're working on because I am the coordinator of the family reunions.
Oh, okay.
And I got a lot of that, but I don't have it in place like I wanted. I just talked to a brother that was born in, I believe, 1912. My oldest brother was born in 1910.
Mm-hmm.
But my second oldest brother have a better remembrance because all of the older people passed on now.
Right.
And I just wished I had started to try to gather this history before my aunt who lived to be 101. And my mother, she didn't live as long a life. She had so many children, but she passed on at 63. And so, and then my dad passed on earlier. So I didn't get it. And then my grandfather had passed on a long time before.
Right.
And so nobody had thought of this. I think Roots brought all of this.
Right. For a lot of families,
Yeah.
people started looking for that,
Yes.
that background and heritage.
Yeah.
Where in Mississippi did they live?
It was Jacksonville and Meridian. They lived two places there. They lived in Jacksonville and then they lived in Meridian.
Jacksonville or Jackson?
Jacksonville, Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson, Mississippi, and Meridian,
Uh-huh.
Mississippi.
Yes.
Okay, and then that was rather close
Yeah.
to Marion.
Yeah. No, that's not too far from Alabama, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know why they changed to Alabama. I don't know why it changed to Alabama. But
That was my next question.
Yeah,
About the
why?
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During that time, my brother told me that there was a lot of trade, slave trade, and he, as far as my brother knew, Robert knew, is that he was sold to someone in Alabama, and that's how he ended up in Alabama.
Well, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
It's 14. It's 14, but my mother reared 13 because one, Virginia, died a baby. She spared that. So they reared 13 children.
13. Where were you in the scheme of things?
I was like in the line. I am the knee baby, so to speak. I have a baby brother underneath.
Okay, so you're next to the land.
Yes.
So I know you were spoiled.
Yeah. Yes.
Now tell me a little about Marion Junction.
Marion Junction, a little town that it was segregated for us.
Yes.
My father, he did not believe in his children. All of my brothers were older matter of fact, except the baby brother. And he did not believe in his children working on farms for the white people. And so they all had to work at home, and my father raised everything that we ate.
Was he a farmer?
Yes,
Okay.
he was a minister, a farmer.
Okay.
He's an evangelist,
Right.
and a farmer. And so, during those years, my dad raised like 60, 70 bales of cotton. And my brothers, and they really worked. And he raised, like I say, everything that we had, everything we ate, he raised it except flour. And I believe it was sugar, flour and sugar, everything else. And so my brothers had to work on the farm and do all of the work because they just didn't allow it. So what happened in that, and during that, my daddy was rejected by the white community. And so they wouldn't sell him any land, but they leased him the land, the place, 75 acres of land for 60 years. And so he leased it, and that's where he raised all his children, his family there. So my dad said, he used to tell us that when he would take his cotton to the gin, they would make him get on the end, and he had to wait on the end because he would have more cotton than anybody. The Lord really blessed him, and he would have more cotton, bales of cotton than anybody. And so, but he waited, and because he still was not going to let his children work out, and that he was determined that he didn't.
And all of you worked at home.
At home.
How many boys? How many girls?
5 girls and 8 boys. And during this time, like mine, 5 of us wasn't born then, the younger ones. So it was the older ones. My oldest brother was born in 1910, John Henry. And my second oldest brother was Robert, and next was George. And then it was a sister, then 3 more brothers. And so there was 2 sisters and then 3 more brothers. So many, I have to look at the list to keep up with them. But, and then my mom, so they all went, but my mom was she made just about everything we wore. And she taught my sisters how to sew. And by the time the younger group came in, she taught me like I had 2 groups. And by the time we were born, my 2 older sisters and my other 2 older sisters, that is one that I'm next to and one that she's next to, we had learned, she had taught everybody to learn to teach everybody to sew, so everybody's sewing now. And my trade was doing hair. I used to like to do hair, but my second oldest, let's go back. My oldest brother was a railroad worker. After he grew up, liked to be a young man and got married. He got married, he said he was 18 when he got married. So he worked on the railroad, and then he had a store. He had a store. He started a store in his house. And then when he moved in, they sold him some land up on another place, and he bought 125 acres of land, and he put him a store. So he was, so his family, his children was raised in the store, and he worked on the railroad.
So he never farmed then?
Yes, growing up.
Yeah, but when he
became
adult, he worked on the railroad and had a store.
Yes, he just had a garden. Everybody had gardens.
Right.
Like greens and corn and okras, small truck farms they call them.
Right.
Truck farms.
Now, did he remain in Marion, or did he ever leave Marion?
No, he remained in Marion Junction. He retired from the railroad, and he's there now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What did your mother do? Did she work outside of the home?
No, she was a housewife. She helped on the farm, and then she taught us to sew. And she's a Bible teacher. And she was just a good mother.
So did your father have a church, or was you say he's an evangelist, so he traveled?
No, very short time he pastored the church in Massillon. Very short, but he must have went all through the country, all through the country. That's what he was, an evangelist.
Right. Now, you're being near, for all practical purposes, the baby girl anyway. What was it like having that loyal family? And did you have the opportunity to work on the farm? Was your father still farming as you grew up?
It was, the family, I'm a family, my mom always taught us to stick together. We were a close family, so it was like fun for me because they kind of did everything. I didn't have to cook and a lot of things that I didn't have to do that the older ones had to do. Well, by the time I was born, my father was not into the big farming, just truck farming at this time. And so I didn't have to, I didn't have to work in the field and done that. Then.
Well, did you ever wish that you could have worked in the field, or did you not want to do that?
Yeah, well,
as a child,
Yeah, well, I didn't mind it. As a matter of fact, I did do it, but we're helping other people. For instance, we were raised to help people, and it was a family, and this family, Ala was my mother's best friend lady, and all her children had grown up and left too. And her children would come back and do the farm, and they still farm because her husband wanted to farm. And he was the type of man that he liked to see a lot of cotton and corn and everything. So my mom would let us go over and help out. So I did get a chance to pick the cotton and the corn and pick up the peanuts and all of that. But it wasn't like it was a requirement when my father was raising the family.
That pressure was not on you.
No.
It was more
like helping out,
right.
like helping. We had to do that.
But tell me about your schooling. Well, first of all, let me ask you this: how much schooling did your parents have?
My parents did not. My mom had a 3rd grade education, and my father had 5th grade education, and that's just almost how they went there. And I suppose I think, yeah.
That and during that time,
Yeah.
Particularly living in the rural areas,
Yeah.
it was rather difficult to get much further than that.
Right.
Now, your education, do you remember your first school?
Yes. Gary, yes.
Okay. Tell me about it.
I do remember that school. Miss Minnie was my teacher. She was a jewel. Gary Elementary School is the first school I attended, and I got kind of moved up in a grade when I was first or 2nd grade, I believe it was. But she was a good teacher, and it was a little school in Massillon. Everybody was in the same classroom. All grades was in the same classroom, and everybody, it's just amazing how quiet we were. And she had to teach every grade, and everybody had their books and in their little section. And in the wintertime, when it was real cold, we had a wooden heater, and when it get real cold, she let us come around and warm up and get warm. And she would sometimes let us put our hands in our pocket. And we had our hands in our pockets sometimes when we read. And she would teach us to read. But it was a beautiful time. She loved us. It was a loving time. Everybody obeyed. And it's just so different now. But it was a joyous time. Now, one thing that I got exposed to later on in years, I was not exposed to racism in the elementary school because there wasn't nobody there, nobody but us. It was black kids, so it wasn't like an integrated school having to be exposed to, well, there's a white school across the street and nothing like that. They were way across wherever. Mm-hmm. But I never was exposed to them because they weren't there, but we had our little school and our little book that we read, the little red hen. Well, we didn't know then whether you're supposed to have anything else or not, you see. Right. But we learned what we had. But in later years, it was different.
How long did you go to that school?
I went to Crossroads, well, that was later. I went to Gary School until I was in the 5th grade. And then we moved to went to another little school called Mud Hall. And then from Mud Hall to have Crossroads, where I was in 8th and 9th grade there. Then in the 10th grade, I was at Lincoln High School in Marion. And then from Lincoln, I graduated at Dallas County Training School in Beloit, Alabama.
Were you active in any extracurricular activities?
Yes, I liked the band. I liked the music. I always did like music. And Mr. Hobb at Dallas County Training School let me do the drums. I don't know what was so excited about the drums at that time. I also majorette in Marion after the 10th grade. And then I did the drums, but we didn't have a real full band at Lloyd. Mr. Hobbs would let us do, we would kind of like have it in the class, so we didn't have bands. It was country school, it wasn't like Marion.
Right.
And so we would have music in the classroom.
Did Marion not go through 12th grade?
Yes, but the zoning, I couldn't go there anymore. It was something that we had to move out of at the district. That kind of thing got started down there. Well, I don't know, get started or what, but I was in Dallas County when I went to Marion. And it may be because my nieces lived in Perry County, and they found out. But I don't know what happened, but I knew I couldn't go back there. I had to go finish at Beloit. Definitely.
As a young black woman growing up in that part of Alabama, what was it like? Were there any experiences that you would share with us? Sort of describe your childhood.
When I got in high school, we used to go to Marion on Saturdays. And they had I guess you would call it a boot camp. And where they had the soldiers, what they would do that practice.
Training that.
Yes.
Right.
But it's one thing I noticed that it wasn't any blacks in that great army of young men, and I used to wonder to myself why it wasn't.
Oh, there were no blacks
No.
at the training camp?
Yeah, no.
Was that facility?
Yeah, no. No, we used to stand on the sidewalk and watch them do that practice. And I used to stand and watch them do that practice, and I just often wondered why I wasn't any black young men out there. When I got to the 14, I guess is when I started working, because my mom always liked us to work. And I started working for a lady. She was sick, and I, at that time, my mom wanted me to be a nurse. And so this lady had a daughter that was an RN, and she taught me how to give her mom shots, because she had an illness and she required shots. And she had a son, and her son she was a good lady, but her son was real sneaky, and he would do things, say things to me he shouldn't say behind the back and tell me what to tell you. Your mother.
What were the such things like?
Well, you know, they talk about this, what the women is talking about, men harass them.
Sexual
Sexual
harassment.
harassment.
Mhm.
But if you want to talk about sexual harassment, oh God, I've had that since I was 14 years old.
Now, was this a white family?
Yes. And, but he didn't rape me or nothing like that, but he would always approach me and tell me don't tell his mother. And so I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell mom either, because I knew she would make me stop working over there. And so, but he would just always bother me. But it was.
Was he older?
Yes, he was older. Oh yes, he was much older.
Was he grown?
Yes, he was indeed grown up. He and his wife were separated, and he lived with his mom. But
So did you ever think of telling your father?
Oh yes, I thought about it, but I knew what my dad would do, because I knew that some confrontation that he had in Marion Junction that he used to tell us about. And so
Tell me about that. What kind
Well,
of confrontation?
when my dad raised my oldest brothers, as I said, they had to work at home, but he would send them to the store in Marion Junction. And so my dad had given my brother $10 to go to the store to get something. Well, you weren't supposed to go to the store then through the week. See, you only go to the store on Saturdays. Well, my brother said it was a Monday, and my dad sent him to the store with the $10. And they harassed my brother, wondering what was he doing there? What was he doing at $10? Had he stole that $10? My brother said. And so my brother went, and they wouldn't sell him anything. He took the $10.
The white store?
Yeah.
And
So,
took the $10?
yeah. So my brother went back and told Robert. He went back and told my dad. And my dad went up there, and there was a great confrontation. And my dad told him that whenever he sent his children to the store to give them what they wanted, he'd give them their money. So they always told my dad they called him Crazy Tom. That's what they call him. See, but he wasn't crazy. He just was a man, and he would
stand up for himself and his family.
Yeah.
Right. So he was crazy then in their terms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that meant that he probably got a lot of respect too.
He did. They didn't bother him. They wouldn't sell him any land, but they didn't bother him because my brother, my mom and dad, and I can see now why they didn't tell us a lot of things, that they didn't want to instill hate. And they always instill in us to love everybody, and regardless of what they do to you. And they never told us to hate white people, hate nobody. But my brothers have told us a lot since we grew up, and I see why she didn't. Not that we hate now, because we know that's not the way to go. But I don't know why. I do know. I believe that's the reason they didn't want to expose us to all of what they had to encounter.
Right.
So they didn't tell us. But my brother told us a lot of things that they had to encounter, like other people who worked on half. Now my dad let people work on half. They call it working on half.
Share property.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad would let some people do this on his place. And he was good to the people. And a lot of people used to want to come work on his place because on the white people place, they would have to do. They didn't ever pay their. They would take their crops, a lot of their crops when they worked. And then some of those people, they would beat those people. And one day, they were beating a man. My brother say, and my dad defended him, and they hit him, and he pulled that man off the horse, and that was a great confrontation.
And your father was a fighter.
Yes. He wasn't a violent man or nothing like that, but you just didn't bother him. You just leave him alone and his children. You just leave his family.
He believed in self-defense.
Yes, he did. He believed in self-defense and in protecting his family. Right. But he's a good man.
Were there other stories that your brothers have told you that related to race during that time? I know in certain parts of Alabama, well, that is black belt, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the relationships between blacks and whites, and one of the reasons they would call your father crazy is because he went against the norm.
Yeah.
The norm was to be submissive.
Yes.
And he obviously was not submissive.
Yes.
So that meant that he would stand up for what he felt was right.
Yeah.
And white people then would look at that as being crazy.
Yes.
Because that were not all black men didn't do that.
No, they didn't. And he didn't. That hit him. That's one thing. I think really touched him that morning. They said it was one morning. My brothers, they told us about. My oldest brother told us about when he worked on the railroad and how how the people would do on the railroad. This man, I remember his name very well. They're not college. But they had to do the crossroads, the cross ties, they call them cross ties. And he had a yell, and when he yelled, you were supposed to run. But my brother didn't run, because my mom had told him, and she told all of us to work, you do your work, and you get your pace. That's what I she heard tell him that many times. You get your pace, and you do your pace. You work. She said, you do all the day's work, but you don't run and rip on the job. You swear, don't run and rip on the job. You just work. So when he would do the yell, he did not. My brother didn't run, and so this man asked him, "Didn't you hear me?" My brother said, "Didn't you hear me?" He said, so my brother said, "Yeah, I heard you." He was very quiet. This is my oldest brother, pointing at him. He said, "Yeah, I heard you." And he said, "Well, didn't you see everybody else getting over there on whatever, on that cross town, that rail?" And my brother said, he told him, "Didn't you see me get over there?" "Yeah, but you didn't get over there with them." He said, "But I went over there, didn't I?" I remember my brother said he said that. And so he looked at us and he said, "I went over there, didn't I?" And so he didn't bother me anymore, but my brother said he would always look at him. He looked, but he didn't bother me. But he was.
So he helped build the railroads in that area.
Yeah. He had to they had to maintain it by it was coals on railroad tracks then, and they had to put the coals in the proper place and put them under the cross ties so when the train run on it, they wouldn't go down or whatever. They had to care for it. I remember when we used to ride the train all the time. We would go to Marion and to Selma on two places when I was a teenager. I didn't. My oldest sister encountered also this white man. My mom said that my sister told me later, that he made an advance toward my older sister, and then he told my mother that if he would let her go with her, that what he would do for them, for the family and all, give them that or that stuff. But my mother said she told him that I don't trade my daughter. She told him she looked at us and she told, "I don't trade my daughters." And so said he dropped his head and rode on away on the horse. He didn't bother anymore. My sister said she didn't bother. But what I'm saying is that was not too much confrontation because of my daddy. They knew that my daddy wasn't going to tolerate it. And so we grew up separate. They had their schools and that all the confrontation that we had with white people when you go to the store. And and so they didn't bother us.
What did you do after high school?
After high school, my mom wanted me to be a nurse, and then she wanted me to be a music teacher. But she really wanted me to be a music teacher. But when I got out of high school, I kind of ran all over the country level. I wanted to be a model. Mm-hmm. So I traveled around and I lived a while with my cousin in Cleveland, Ohio.
Did you leave for Cleveland right after high school?
No, right after high school, I came here to Birmingham and lived with my oldest sister a while. And then I went there.
Did you work here?
Yeah, in the 60s, well, after I kind of floated around.
No, I mean after when you came to live here with your sister.
No, yeah.
Before you went to Cleveland.
Yeah, no, I wasn't working there. She's kind of like a vacation, and I had to stay with her a summer. I got out of high school in 1955, and I came here, and I stayed during that summer with her. And I believe it was Christmas. I believe it was during the Christmas of 1955 that I went to Cleveland and picked up my cousin. And she had a beauty shop. I guess that's why I really did have some when I was in high school. But anyway, I really got some more training.
So you worked with your cousin when you got to Cleveland in the beauty shop?
Yeah.
Well, how did you say like Cleveland versus Birmingham and Mary?
Yeah, I didn't. And I think maybe because she didn't still live far from Lake Superior. And I liked the scene, and I liked the life. She had a cousin that was, it may be because of my upbringing, and her daughter was really into the fast life. And,
Was she your age?
yes,
Her daughter?
she, and I think that I didn't like it. I didn't like the things, that places she went and all. And so I wanted to come back.
So how long were you in Cleveland?
Off and on. Like I stayed there that winter, that spring, I came back. And then that summer I went back a while. And I was just really, I think, getting the edge off or seeing what I wanted to do or something like that, I guess. Just kind of, then I came back and I got into McGee Marlin School here, and I did that a while, and won a few newspaper things, interviews, and during the 60s, and then I went back again, and I thought that, well, maybe Lois and I would kind of do this all together. I wanted her to do what I would like it to do, but that wasn't her.
Who was Lois? Was that your cousin?
Cousin.
Okay.
So I came back, and then I just started to work at, there's a drugstore on First Avenue North. I worked there a while. Can't think of the name of that store. It's right on the corner of First Avenue and 19th Street in those years. And then I worked at Britain Cafeteria and at Morris, and I started going to Loveless Beauty School. So I thought I would go into that, so I finished it. And there about, I think, a year or two maybe. Then I started working in the beauty shop, and I continued to pursue my subject. I enrolled in at, I was at the Y. I was taking typing at the Y because I was seeing then I wanted to go another way. So, but I used the beauty shop, so after I finished, I worked in the beauty shop and continued to go to school in the evenings. And I went to, after I left the Y taking typing, then I enrolled in manpower training school, probably in the mid-60s. And I finished there, and then I started working. I was still working at the beauty shop in the evenings, and I took the test to get a job, wherever they would get one. I passed the test, and I was hired at City Hall, traffic citation recorder's court in 1966, August 1966.
Well, you were one of the first.
I was the first black hired in the clerical position there.
Well, prior to then, you came back to Birmingham in 58, all right?
Yes.
And you lived in what community?
In the Smithfield area. I lived on 10th Street.
Right.
I was living on 10th Street when the bomb went off at 16th Street. I believe then I was probably, I think I was taking cosmetology. I believe I was taking cosmetology. I had just finished one, because I finished in 63.
Yeah,
So I don't,
see, that happened in 63 also. So
okay,
it happened in September of 63.
okay.
So had you finished by then?
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably finished either the summer or the spring.
Yeah, and so I was working at the beauty shop then on 16th Street. That's what I was working at the beauty shop and going to school at night. In 63.
Well, in 60 was the year that the sit-in started, running the South. In 61 was the year that the Freedom Riders came through.
Yeah.
In 62 was the year that Niles College students and the movement so incorporated on a selective buying campaign downtown, like boycotted the stores downtown. Of course, in '63 were the big demonstrations. Were you involved in any of those activities?
No, and the reason is that I guess I had a little of my dad in me, a little that, because I knew that I couldn't take the hitting and I just wasn't involved. I admired, and I worked in the voter registration and that, but I couldn't, I just couldn't tolerate that.
You did work in voter registration.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How did you?
Well, I wasn't, I wanted to be a voter. Well, some of the meetings was at my church at,
The mass meetings?
Yes.
For the movement?
yes.
And what church were you?
Zion Hill, right down from 16th Street Baptist Church. And that's where the voter registration was, and in the evening time. So they taught me the Constitution and the things that they asked you, and then I went and I passed.
Did you pass the first time?
Yes, I learned those things, and I learned it, and I said, then I passed the order, and then I started working to help the other people to vote. Because a lot of them had gone down and didn't pass it. It's two things that they asked me was for the Constitution of the United States and how many, and the presidents. Well, I named some of them because I couldn't remember them all, so he said, well, that's okay. So so that was that. And so I passed that, but a lot of the people I think they asked, it wasn't like a structured question, and because people were saying different things that they were being asked. And so we was trying to help them to remember it all. And some of the people were older and they couldn't remember all what we've been teaching them to.
Right. Well, I've interviewed people and they said they had questions like how many seeds in a watermelon, how many bubbles in a bar of soap, and that kind of thing. And of course, you prepare people for that. But you did help people prepare for answers, questions about the Constitution and about government in general.
Yes.
Did you ever attend any of the mass meetings?
Yes. I know not all of them, but many.
How would you describe a mass meeting?
Oh, that was a hallelujah time. They were spiritual. During those times, I was singing the choir sometime, but my work, where I was working, not all the time. But the choirs were just, everybody was just really, there was so much unity and love, and everybody was on fire. I wish that could come back, but during those days, it was a glorious unity among people, and people would tell their experiences that they were having and having. And I never will forget one night, Martin Luther King was at, Reverend King was at 16th Street. And he said that Birmingham was one of the hardest cities to cry. He said it's one of the hardest cities to cry. And I was just shocked, because I was thinking, in my mind, I'm not political and all that. But I was thinking that we were doing fine. But see, he was talking from the structure of the city and how hardcore it was against blacks. So he's thinking, and I'm thinking about, we singing and we just having a good time, And that's why I was thinking. I never forget. I was thinking that when he said that, but I learned what he was.
Yeah. So you were thinking about the good time that you were having.
Yeah, spiritual.
That together, spiritually, rather than looking at what is happening outside of that church. Okay. Did you participate in any of the demonstrations?
No, I did not, and I wasn't, and I saw a lot of them, and I went on back because.
Were you on the periphery? You watched as they.
Yes.
What was that feel it like just to watch?
I didn't watch it all. I would just see what was going on, then I'd go because I couldn't take it. I just could not. The hitting and the pushing and the shoving and the cursing, and it was just like it was like a heathen camp. It was like mad folks. The viciousness on the face and the expression and the hate.
Was this viciousness of hate, was that from blacks and whites?
No, it was from the whites on the
From the
blacks,
blacks.
beating on and pushing and shoving the blacks.
So
You know.
that viciousness of hate was coming from policemen?
Yes, and the dogs and yes.
Mhm.
That's what
So you witnessed it, but you couldn't participate,
no,
and you couldn't witness very long.
No, very long. Because see, like I said, I just wasn't gonna take it. And I guess I'd have been dead, whatever. It wouldn't matter too much if I had participated. But a lady, and I don't know, that old lady told me, she said, baby, you need to go home. Because I think she could see something in me, maybe something that I didn't, probably an expression. She told me, you need to go home. I never forget, I don't know who that lady was, but that's what she told me.
Did you leave?
I sure did. I was leaving in a way, but she was right. I did, because I would, and it was nonviolent. That's one thing. And I knew I couldn't do that.
You then been the person getting a job in the clerical pool at City Hall. What was that like?
What was that like? I worked in traffic citation, so I had to accept tickets from the public. And the two ladies that was in traffic citation, they were mean ladies. They were very mean ladies. They were, they talk about the mental stress and the things, the sneaking and cunning things that they would do, and then they would say, what's wrong? And at that time,
What would they do?
They would do things like hide, or they would do the personal things. It's just not fit to tell. Well, it's just really, it's really so
Just
bad.
personal things to you.
It was like she would pass by my desk and fan her dress, and she knew what she had done. And then she'll look back at me like that to see how I was taking it. And then she would hide the tickets, would hide the work. And I'm sitting at my desk, and the tickets supposed to be, all the tickets that came in that night is supposed to be in the box there, because you're supposed to have, there's so much work you do, you're supposed to get that work out. Well, I couldn't find it. I spent all that time looking for it. And then over in the evening, she'll come and put the tickets down on my desk by me and say, you hadn't done your work today. I said, I've been looking for the tickets all day, and I asked you about them,
This was your supervisor?
No, she was just a
Just
worker.
a worker.
Yes.
What was the reaction of your
My
supervisor?
supervisor didn't care. He believed what she said. You had no hope. There's no hope in that. And a lot of times, and the reason I think the Lord had pruned me into, I would cry a lot. And I think that was releasing, and I know that God was watching me because to keep me calm. And I think that was the way I released that, because it didn't make sense. It really didn't make sense what they did. And so I didn't do the work, And then here comes the supervisor the next morning, you didn't get this work out. I said, I couldn't find it. I said, Miriam had had it here. This woman had it here, you know. But she said you didn't, you know, this kind of thing, you know. She said.
How long did you work under those conditions?
I worked there from 1966, August 1966, until August 1971, 70 or 71. It was like 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Well, were those conditions existed
They still
through that
said the
whole
same,
period?
the same thing. They were the same thing. And I thought I hated, and I would say I hate, then when we would go on our break, and this lady, and I won't forget, she came like, and she was the first stenographer. She was a black lady. And she told me, she said, Henrietta, you have to pray. I said, pray? For them? What they doing to me? And she said, you gotta pray for them. But I learned after I got into the ministry, and I learned, because I haven't, that you do, you have to pray. And so this. And prayer is the only thing that keep you from hating, really, and keep you from harboring animosity. And you see that what some people are grim and filled with meanness and expression. I learned that prayer keeps you out of that. Because hadn't been taught how to release. Well, I've gotten this course now that I learned in later years when I went to work at the Board of Education. I learned how you have to release the pressure. I've forgotten what that course called now. That stress management. Well, I hadn't had stress management then, but stress management didn't do it then. After I learned, it didn't do it without prayer.
Where did you go to work after you left City Hall?
After I left City Hall, I went to work at Fulton High School. By then, well, that's still, I was still in college at night. And I obtained my, I had not obtained my degree then. But I went to work at Fulton High School as aide, just aide, in the vocational building. I worked there 1 year. Well, I believe it was 1 year, yeah. Then I went back the next year in that department. Then they transferred me to another part of to the central staff office at the building in Tarrant City at that time. And I worked in that capacity. Then I was moved to another building. And then from there back to Fulton High School. So I think I kind of worked at the central staff office maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe something.
Did you teach out there eventually?
No, I worked at discipline and attendance.
And coming from City Hall and the experiences that you had, how was Fulton?
Fultondale was, Fultondale itself was okay, as far as treating you. I mean, you were just, they just did your work. Nobody, wasn't no point in lunch together and that kind of thing, but they didn't bother you. It was okay like that, but the board itself was prejudiced because they would not allow you to advance. You had to do the work, but they wouldn't classify you so that you could make the money. Now that was, they were just terrible in that area. Because I wanted to work as a secretary after I got my degree. And so they held me in that position. Like, I did work like assistant principal. That's really what I did. But my classification changed from just aide to administrative aide. Still no money. And I applied several times for a secretarial position. But they didn't give me that. And so they just gave me more responsibilities, like I had to, deal with parents, with, counseling, advising kids and parents. I mean, really just that's the job.
How old were you when you married?
When I first married, I was 21 years old. That was a very short marriage, very short.
Where were you then? Were you here?
I was here. But my last marriage, I was married 26 years.
You have children?
No children.
And you were widowed.
Yes, I'm with them.
Well, you have been very helpful. I mean, we've covered a lot of territory in this near an hour or so. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I would like to, I've worked in a lot of, and I still work now, a lot of positions in my neighborhood and in the community for the betterment of the young people and other people in the community. I work on a lot of boards and, I'm president of my neighborhood and I work with the the program to help the young people. And I tell the young people that to be helpful and to help people in wherever that the need is and don't look for pay, because in these later years, parents now have taught their kids, you don't work if you don't get paid. That's the wrong attitude. When I was growing up, you helped and you did work. If you don't take pay and you don't look for pay, you didn't take it. Yes. And so I just wish now that the young people would be more helpful in the community in doing what they see is needed, like picking up paper or cutting older people's lawns, whatever that they can do to help the community. Because this is some of the things that I do with the kids that I work with. This is what I tell them to do. And we keep up the park, we pick up the paper in the park. But I always have to compensate them. I compensate them with my personal money to encourage them, and to have somebody to help me, because I can't do it all. Because the parents, I think if I didn't compensate them something, and I don't know what they would with me or not. They probably would, because they always tell me, my mom tell us we supposed to get paid to work. I said, but you live here. This is your community. You're supposed to learn the community. So I just would like to say that I am glad to be a part of history in the 60s, and to see now where we are now, and the difference between the 60s then and the 60s. I mean, the 60s then and then this 1998 vastly aggressive into the end of this into this century. I would just love for people to be more loving as they were in the 60s, and to learn to work together more, and to love one another, and to don't be misled. People are easily misled, and basically the same thing is hate is still out there. It is still there. But to learn to value a person for what they are, for who they are, and to treat everybody right.
It's a great way to conclude. I certainly appreciate your time. You've done
Well, thank you, Dr. Huntley. I don't know. I just wanted to say a few things that was on my heart.
Thank you. Appreciate you saying it.